Hey, welcome to the fifth video of the most practical Facebook ads which you'll ever see. And in this video, we are going to talk about traffic temperature. We are going to talk about what exactly traffic temperature is, why is it essential, how to use traffic temperature, and show you some live demonstrations about how we have used it. So without wasting any time, let us just directly jump into this video. First of all, what exactly is traffic temperature? So in simple words, it can be defined as, does the audience knows us? Yeah, that's the simple definition of it. And based upon the kind of audience we have, it is divided into three types. The first is the cold audience, then comes the warm, and then comes the hot. Let us try and understand this by taking an example. Let's say it is your first day of the college. So you have entered a new college. Now here you will have different students with you. No one knows each other. So whenever you interact with any one of them, that would be a cold interaction. Let's say you introduce yourself, there will be some formal talks and something like that. So this is the cold audience. Now after 1 or 2 months, you are enough interacted with each other. Now let's say you start gelling up with each other, you open up a little bit. This type of audience is called as a warm audience. Then after the 1 or 2 years of college, now you have bonded up with each other really very well. Now you become best friends, you get into relationship and all this stuff. Now this is the hot audience. And based upon the kind of audience which we have, it is really very important to segregate your audience. Now that we have understand what exactly is traffic temperature, let us go and look into what is the importance of traffic temperature. So the first and the foremost importance is we have to write our ad copies based on the type of traffic. Now someone who does not knows you is not going to buy stuff directly from you. Now there are some scenarios in which this particular scene is different, but when it comes to long time marketing, then it is really very important to write our ad copies based on the type of traffic. Next, it is important to determine what kind of funnel we have to take that particular person to. A cold audience funnel would be different than a warm audience funnel, which would be way different from a hot audience funnel. And next comes what kind of offer should we place in front of them. Now let's say that you have a person and he's in your cold audience, so you are giving him something away for free. So this is your offer. You have someone in your warm audience, so you give him, let's say, $1, $2 or $5 product. And you have someone in your hot audience, you offer him a $20, $30 or let's say $50 product. So the kind of offer which we place in front of audience, which will vary from hot, cold and warm. Now comes the next point. How should we use this particular traffic temperature? Now the fundamental part is we all want to increase our sales, and whenever we want to increase our sales, we have to make sure that we convert a lot of cold traffic into a lot of warm traffic. Now this is the fundamental of selling. Now we have already stated in our previous videos, but we'll just state it again. Dating and selling are really very closely linked to each other, because the kind of interaction which you have with the person for the first time is way more different than the kind of interaction which you will have when you meet for the 10th time. So whenever you meet the person for the first time, this is the cold audience, and whenever you meet for the 10th time, that is the hot audience. And similar to this, whenever you are marrying any person, you don't go and propose him or her at the first time. So you do not go a person, you just don't meet her and just tell her I love you and will you marry me. So these are the things which only work out in movies, but in real life it's way different than all this stuff. You have to first go, you have to first interact with the person, you have to just talk with him or her, and then comes all this picture. In the same way, whenever you are selling, you have to make sure in the online world, now this particular world, in the online world matters here, because whenever you are selling, we have to just convert your audience from the cold audience to hot traffic, and in this way we can sell more. Now comes the important part, how to turn them into hot traffic. So let's say you have a cold audience, and how should you exactly turn them into hot traffic so that you can sell them? Now the first part is of course showing the content, and this is a really very interesting and easy part to do. Let's say you don't know a person, but you start watching his or her content. Let's say you watch their Facebook videos, you watch their Instagram videos, you watch their YouTube videos and all this stuff, and now that particular person knows you. So whenever that particular person watched your video for the first time, he was in the cold audience. But let's say he watched 10 or 20 videos of yours, then he's converted into an hot audience, and in that case he is ready to buy from you. He's ready to buy a course from you, he's ready to buy an ebook from you, he's ready to join your classes, he's ready to buy your product. Anything which you offer is going to be gladly accepted by that particular person because he is in the hot traffic. So this is the first kind of way in which we can convert them into hot traffic, which is showing the content. Then comes the next part, which is giving our lead magnet. Now this is the way which a lot of agencies use. Let's say you have one particular business. Let's say you are a financial advisor, and now you want people more into your client list. So what you can do is that whenever you start marketing for the first time, people don't know about you, don't know anything about you, they have no idea who you are, what kind of experience which you have. So what you will do is that you will create a quality lead magnet, offer a lot of value, and market this to a cold audience. Then a lot of people will download your lead magnet, and after that they have known you. Now they will read your lead magnet, they will read about you and all this stuff. Now this particular audience has converted into a warm audience, and by taking them even further and by showing them other content, you can turn them into a hot audience and you can sell to them. So these are the simple ways of turning the cold audience into a hot audience. Now how to do this using Facebook? Now that's all okay. Now I understand all your theoretical stuff. Now comes the main point. How exactly Facebook will help us in doing all those stuff? And the answer is really very simple. It is Facebook Pixel. Now Facebook Pixel is really very powerful, and once you start using the Facebook Pixel, you'll understand that you can convert the cold audience into hot audience using Facebook alone. And we can use custom audiences and lookalike audiences, because using Facebook Pixel we can make custom audiences, and these custom audiences are really very powerful if used wisely. Now it's time for some demo. We have learned a lot of theoretical stuff. Now we'll show you some actual practical stuff in which how all these things are done. Now we are into our Facebook dashboard, and let us show some practical demonstration about different types of audiences. Now first let us talk about the cold audiences. So whenever we try and create a campaign, so whenever we are creating campaign for the very first time for you or your client, the audience which we are speaking to is the cold audience. Now this particular audience does not know us. Now this particular audience does not have any idea about us. So the kind of message which we should be giving to this particular audience is really very different. We shouldn't be asking for a lot of stuff. We shouldn't be directly asking to buy from us. There should be different type of messages, and there should be different types of offers should be placed in front of them. Now let us come to the warm and hot audiences. So we'll go into audiences, and then we'll wait for some time, of course, to the Facebook dashboard to load. So there are different sources from which we can make our warm and hot audiences. So that can be website, video, landing pages, or anything. So let's just click on the custom audiences, and as you can see, there are different sources available. So first sources are the external sources. That could be your website, that could be your customer list, that could be your activity, that could be app activity. So that can be anything, but the two most used stuff are website as well as the customer list. Then comes the other stuff, which is the Facebook sources, and again the most used stuff here first of all is video, then comes in lead form, and in the end the Facebook page or Instagram account. So we'll usually like to target those people who have visited our Facebook page, who have interacted with your Instagram account or something like that. Let us jump on to the first method. Let's say you have your lead magnet and you want to target people who have visited your landing page. So they have seen you, they have seen your offer, they have visited your landing page. So we can go and target that using this particular website stuff. So we'll go here. Again, as we told, that pixel is really very important for creating the audiences, different types of audiences. So we'll select people, either all website visitors, but in this case we want people who have downloaded our lead magnet. So we'll go to people who have visited specific web pages. Then we can give the URL of the page which we are talking to, and then we can again retarget those people who have not downloaded our ebook or who have downloaded our ebook. So again we are converting them into a warm audience. So this is one of the ways. Then comes the customer list. So if there are people who have already downloaded your lead magnet, then you have all those list of people, and again we can target these people individually and they would be in our warm or hot audiences. Now this is another important stuff, which is the video. Let's say you are speaking to your cold audience. Now you have driven out a simple video which tells 5 steps to do this, 5 steps to do that. Now all those people who have watched your video, we can make a separate audience of them. We can make audience of people who have watched our video for the 95%, 75%, and so on. But understand the importance of this. if someone has watched your video for 95%, that means he's really very interested in what you're saying. And if he's interested in what you're saying, he'll be really very interested in what you're selling. So let's say you are a coach, or you are someone who is doing any particular classes, or an agency like us. If there is any person who is listening to you really very carefully about the kind of information which you are providing, in the next video we can retarget with our offer or something like that. Again, we are converting the cold audience into warm or hot audience. Same is the case with the lead form. So if someone has opened our lead form, if someone has submitted our lead form, then again we can make an audience of these people. And the last two options which are used wisely is the Instagram account. People who have engaged with our Instagram account, people who have engaged with any ad. So again, there are different options available, and again we can make audiences of these people. So in this way we can turn the cold audience into hot audience using all the Facebook pixel which we have here. So we can use this particular pixel to keep a track and segregate our audience, and our target should be turning a huge chunk of audience into cold to hot, so that we are selling a lot of stuff. And this stuff is really very important if you're a coach, consultant, trainer, agency, or some other person. In that case, people are not going to directly buy from you. So you need to turn a huge portion of this particular cold audience into hot audience and then sell your product or services. Now this was about basic pixel, but there is something called as the advanced Facebook pixel. Now what does an advanced Facebook pixel mean? Let us understand this by taking an example. Suppose any person is visiting your landing page and he waits there for 5 seconds, and there is another person who is watching your landing page for 30 seconds. Then the kind or the quality of audience which we'll get by tracking people who have waited on our landing page for 5 seconds will be way more different than the kind of audience which is waiting there for 30 seconds. So using the basic Facebook pixel, we can only track smaller things like who have visited our landing page or who have visited the landing page for a certain time. But if we want to track more advanced stuff, like the kind of depth into which that particular person has scrolled our landing page or spent certain amount of time, so in that case we have to use advanced Facebook pixel, and that can be done using Google Tag Manager, and we can get the most awesome audience which has the highest chance of conversion by using this advanced Facebook pixel things. So if we get all those people who have scrolled our landing page till the end, or all those people who have spent 1 minute, 2 minutes or 5 minutes on our landing page and are really thinking about our offer, then the chances are that whenever we retarget those people, then we can have a greater chance of conversion. And we'll talk about the advanced Facebook pixel in some other video, because there are a lot of technicalities in that particular video. And so that was pretty much it from this video. And if you want us to run ads for you, build landing pages, craft an offer, build funnels or email system or anything like that, or if you want us to help you in growing your business, then click on the link below and book a free appointment with us. So that was pretty much it from this video. See you in the next one.